Today Nisha was very happy. She got married to the guy of her choice. Edward worked in a good company. There were only his mother, Rose, and father, Peter, at home. Edward was their beloved son. When Edward came to see Nisha, she liked his family very much. For some reason, Edward did not come along with his family. After a few days, Edward's consent reached Nisha's house. Nisha had seen only Edward's photo. She found it a bit strange that Edward did not come to see her. Edward's mother said that he had some important work to do. He wanted to come, but could not due to heavy work. Edward felt sorry for that. Nisha liked the smart and green-eyed Edward very much. Who didn't want to marry such a guy? Even Nita couldn't resist his charm. But Nisha wanted to talk to Edward before the wedding happened. But Edward's mother said, "Now the date of marriage has been fixed, and it would be inauspicious for you two to meet before marriage. Whatever conversation you have, do it after marriage." Edward's mother was very serious about following the ritual, and Nisha didn't want to disobey her, so she agreed to that and kept quiet. After a month, Nisha got married to Edward with all the rituals. After getting rid of a lot of rituals, Nisha was finally taken to Edward's room by the girls. The girls left Nisha in the room and went away. Nisha saw the flowers decorated in the room. Nisha became a little nervous, seeing the bed decorated with flower fans. She was getting herself ready. Just then, the sound of footsteps stopped near the door. Perhaps Edward had come. Nisha quickly moved forward and sat down on the bed. Just then, Edward entered in a blue suit. Nisha started playing with her fingers to calm her beating heart. She did not dare to look up at Edward. Nisha's cheeks were turning red like roses because of the stories of the first night that her friends had told her. Edward came towards the bed after looking at Nisha for some time. Nisha's heart was beating fast. He sat in a corner of the bed. After a few moments of silence, Edward's voice reached her ears. "I want to talk to you about something," Edward said softly. "Do," Nisha said from behind her veil. "Look, this marriage has not happened with my consent," Edward said quickly. Nishala was shocked and raised her face and looked at Edward. He was sitting seriously with his eyes down. "I know you must have felt bad after hearing this. Ibu can hate me, curse me as much as you want, but this is the truth. I'm not happy in this marriage. This marriage has been done against my wish," Edward said without looking at her. "Then why did you not stop this marriage? If I was not your choice, then why did you say yes to the marriage?" Nisha asked, holding her breath. "Sorry, I tried my best to stop this marriage, but this time my mother did not let me have my way. She bound me in her promise, and I said yes to this marriage. You don't know, but my mother is very stubborn. Once she decides on something, she does everything to achieve her goal," Edward said with a faint smile. "This time means you have rejected other girls before as well." "Yes," Edward said quietly. "Why? Did you not like any girls? Or do you like a particular girl? Or do you not want to get married for the rest of your life? Please, tell me the whole story. I am not able to understand anything," Nisha asked curiously. For the first time, she was going to know something about Edward. Good or bad, it didn't matter to her, but she wanted to know him. Edward was shocked to hear her words. He was not able to understand where to start the conversation. Finding him confused, Nisha moved forward and took Edward's hand in hers. Edward got a little nervous. "Look, Edward, don't hide anything from me. If not as a wife, you can at least tell me as a friend," Nisha said, for the first time. Edward looked up at Nisha. Nisha had a smile on her face. Edward had not expected Nisha to behave like this. He thought that, after hearing his words, she would cry, shout, and taunt him. She would say that Edward married her by deceiving her. Anyone would behave like this, knowing that her partner does not want to marry her. This was a way of trapping by telling lies. But Nisha did not do anything like that. On the contrary, she was talking to him calmly. Don't know why, but Edward liked Nisha's behavior. He felt kind of relieved. "Are you not angry with me? I have trapped you between me and my family. We lied to you," Edward asked in a surprised tone. "Let me be honest with you. When you said that this marriage did not happen with your consent, I got a little angry. But your guilty tone made me forget that anger. And our family members probably thought a lot more about this relationship than we did. More than I might have thought. Anyway, leave it, you make up your mind. Let's keep aside the fact that we are husband and wife. And we talk openly, just like two friends." Nisha put her right hand forward with a soft smile. "Let's start with the introduction. Hi, my name is Nisha. People call me Nisha lovingly. I like to talk and listen a lot. There is nothing in the world that I don't like. And you, I am Edward. I'm a computer engineer. I don't like to talk much. I mean, I don't get time for that. But I talk clearly, without any holding back. So before you get emotionally involved with me, I told you what was on my mind. I didn't want to get married because I love someone else, and I didn't want to deceive you or her. Edward also told openly now. So, then you didn't tell at home about your girlfriend. I did, but our status is not the same. Because of this, only the mother refused the marriage, and even Dad doesn't go against mother. Edward said helplessly. Oh, it's very bad. Who is that girl, by the way? Nisha asked in sparkling eyes. Her name is Seema. She works in my office. We have been in this relationship for 4 years. But my mom doesn't like her. She was never acceptable. Has mother-in-law met Seema? She has seen her. No. When I told her about Seema, she got angry. Meaning mother-in-law rejected Seema without even seeing her. And in a hurry, she arranged your marriage with me. Nisha asked in a surprised voice. Yes, she said Seema is not suitable for me. Edward said in a sad voice. I cannot love anyone else except Seema. I told you this just so that you don't expect me to behave like a husband. Because when expectations are broken, it hurts a lot. Nisha was not able to decide what to do now. She was just looking at Edward. Then she realized that he was crying. Are you crying? Nisha asked softly. No, I'm not crying. Edward turned his face and quickly wiped his tears. Yeah, I can see your tears, Nisha said as she pointed at the mirror in front of Edward. Edward looked at Nisha through the mirror and away in panic. Edward, I am an open-minded girl. I understand your pain. I will not say this, because saying this would be like giving you false consolation. I have never loved anyone, but I promise you that I will help you get back to Seema. I will do as much as I can. Just control your emotions and never cry again, Nisha said, patting Edward's shoulder. Why? Edward looked at her amazed face. You look like a small child while crying. If your mother sees you red eyes, she will beat me to death. She will say that my daughter-in-laws made my little son cry on the first night of marriage. My daughter-in-law is very bad, Nisha said, acting like a dramatic mother-in-law in dramas. Edward laughed lightly at her words and acting. You are completely different, Edward said. Thanks, so from today we are not husband and wife, Nisha said smiling. So what will we be? Edward asked. From now on we will live as two good friends. Like roommates. We will live different lives in the same room. Deal? Nisha asked with a cheerful smile. Okay, now you change your clothes. I have been roaming around like a jewelry shop since morning. Let me take off this jewelry. She pointed at her heavy necklace that Edward's mother put on her forcefully. Edward got up and went to the bathroom. Nisha kept looking at the closed bathroom door for some time and sighed helplessly. Then she got up and started taking off the jewelry. Nisha didn't fear any kind of situation in her life, but this situation was beyond her imagination. Okay, we will deal with this too, Nisha murmured. This is how their first night of marriage went. After a few days, Edward came to the city with Nisha. Edward had a job there. Edward had apartments there. Edward had thought that for Seema. He thought that when he got married to Seema, he would bring Seema to this apartment. But instead of Seema, Nisha stepped into his home and his life. After coming to the city, Edward started going to the office after just 2 days. Edward told her everything about his office. Gossips, they both had become good friends. Nisha had decorated Edward's entire house and made it beautiful. Edward also liked the apartment to feel like home. Every evening, they sit in the garden on the balcony, where Nisha and I enjoy hot coffee with daily chats. Nisha is a fiction writer, so she does work from home. She even takes advice from Edward for her stories. At first, Edward didn't read her online books because of his workload, but slowly he made time to read. Most of her stories are based on love. Edward mentally laughed at Nisha's imagination. She claimed she didn't love anyone, and here online she is a romance writer. He kept his thoughts in his heart because he didn't want to hurt Nisha's happiness. He saw Nisha so focused on her every story. He didn't waste her efforts, just laughing at her. He didn't realize that slowly he began to care for her happiness more than his. At first, Edward talks about Seema without any hesitation. He used to tell about Seema's likes and dislikes, her habit of speaking less. And Nisha also listened to everything with great interest, but slowly forget Seema when he was with Nisha. Nisha had installed a fish tank in the house. She liked fish very much. That is why Edward had bought 5 goldfinches for her. Seeing the fish, she would become a child again. And Edward liked seeing her smiling like this. A year passed like this. Edward was very happy today. As soon as he stepped into the house, he saw Nisha sitting on the sofa in the hall. She looked a little sad today. Edward felt bad seeing the always smiling Nisha sad like this. He sat next to Nisha. Even then, Nisha did not feel his presence. "Nisha, what happened? You look very sad today," Edward said. Nisha broke from her thoughts and looked at Edward. Then she stood up with a panicked face. "I'll make coffee for you." Saying this, she turned to leave. She walked slowly to the kitchen. Edward kept looking at her confusion. Then he also went to the kitchen. Nisha was lost in her thoughts after putting water on the stove. Probably she was thinking very serious topic. Edward looked at her. He went near her. Nisha did not hear the sound of his arrival. Edward turned off the stove. "Nisha." Edward held Nisha's hand and turned her towards him. "What happened? Do you need something?" Nisha asked cautiously. "Yes, come." Edward came out with Nisha. He made Nisha sit on the sofa, and he himself sat beside her. "Edward, why did you bring me here?" "I was making coffee for you," Nisha asked in confusion. "You tell me first, why are you so worried? You seem a little sad too. What happened?" Edward asked in a serious voice. "Nothing special. I got a call from home," Nisha said in a sad voice. "Are you missing home?" Edward asked. Nisha nodded in confirmation. "Then, what is the need to be sad about this? If you are missing home, then go home tomorrow. I'll book the ticket now." Edward chuckles as he pat on her head gently. Nisha's face lit up on hearing his words. "But you have a holiday tomorrow. Are you coming with me?" Nisha asked excitedly. "I would have definitely come, but Seema wants to go out tomorrow. After a long time, we are both going out. So you go home. I will come to pick you up tomorrow. Enjoy at your parents' house." "Okay, don't miss me," Edward said, smiling softly. "Oh, I thought." Nisha stood up with a faint smile. "What did you think?" Edward asked, confused. "That you will feel bad if I go. How will you stay alone without me? But it is good that you have planned to go out. It feels good to see you happy. You sit, I will bring coffee for you," Nisha said with a soft smile. "Oh, let's leave the coffee. Let's go out for dinner today. Get ready quickly," Edward said happily. "Okay." Nisha got up and went to the bedroom to change. After a while, Nisha wore the dress that Edward brought for her and sat on his bike. That night, both of them roamed around for a long time. Despite Nisha's refusal, Edward bought many things for her. In the end, Nisha almost dragged Edward from the mall to stop spending more money. He still had ice cream left at night. Edward woke up the next morning. He opened his eyes and looked at the time on his watch. So he quickly got up. Nisha's train was at 7:30. He looked around to find Nisha. Nisha was sitting in front of the dressing table and doing light makeup on her face. Today, for the first time, Edward was looking at her carefully. She was wearing a blue A-line dress. She kept her long hair down, bracelets on her hands, studded earrings, a thin necklace around her neck, and a wedding ring on her finger sparkling in the lights. She was smiling, looking at herself in the mirror. Nisha never wore a wedding ring, so that Edward would not be awkward, and remind him that he is a married guy, and Nisha is his wife. But Nisha always thinks ahead and removes her ring. Edward put the ring in his locker, but they didn't know that removing rings didn't change their fates. Nisha never wore dresses daily. She always wore loose t-shirts and palazzo pants. No makeup and no hairstyle, only simple loose buns. She kept herself very simple, but today she was wearing a nice dress and a wedding ring. She used to wear the wedding ring around her neck like a necklace, hiding it from Edward. She used to take care that Edward did not see the ring. But what didn't she know? Despite all the efforts of Edward, the ring would come into his sight, but he did not say anything. He did not want to hurt Nisha. But today, Nisha was completely dressed up like a beautiful married woman. Edward felt like getting up and taking Nisha in his arms and kissing her pink lips. Edward was shocked at his thought. What was he thinking? Such thoughts had been coming to him for the last few days. That is why he had planned a date with Seema, to clear his feelings. "Hey, you woke up. You have a holiday today. And you are going on a date in the afternoon. You are very excited to go with Seema," Nisha teases in the same childish way. "Your train is half a house away." "Right, I will get ready quickly. Why did you wake me up first?" Edward jumped out of bed in a hurry. "There is no need to drop me off at the station. I am not a child, so you go to sleep. I will go by taxi," Nisha said while getting up and checking her suitcase. "I will not listen to you. I am coming to drop you off. Please put my clothes on the bed. I don't want to be late." "Which clothes do you want to wear?" "Whatever you like," Edward said while entering the bathroom. Such a clumsy guy. Nisha chuckled as she heard something falling in the bathroom. Nisha had found out by now. Whenever Edward was in a hurry, he always bumped things around him or hurt himself. Nisha told him to be careful on the way, but Edward did not give up on his habit. Both of them reached the railway station at around 7:30. The train was late, so both of them sat quietly on a bench. Don't know why both of them were sitting restlessly. Edward looked at Nisha's face. She was looking sad again. Edward took her wrist in his hand and turned her sad face towards him. Now you're going home. Still, why are you sad? Be happy when you go there. And give my regards to your mom and dad. I will come to pick you up tomorrow, Edward said while trying to cheer her. Don't come to pick me up. I will come myself tomorrow. You just take care of yourself. And don't remember me while roaming with Seema. Otherwise I will get hiccups there, Nisha said, trying to joke. Before Edward could say anything, the train came and stopped. They enter into train. Edward kept the suitcase under the seat, and turning towards Nisha said, "Call me when you reach home," Edward said. Nisha was standing with her head down. Her eyes were filled with tears. She did not want to leave Edward. That is why she did not want to show her tearful eyes to Edward. Because this crazy girl had started loving Edward. The feeling of love for Edward was increasing in her heart. It was becoming very difficult for Nisha to hide it, so she chose to leave before it's get worse. "Nisha, are you okay?" Edward asked her while caressing her shoulder. Nisha hugged Edward without saying anything. Edward was a bit nervous at first. Don't know why Nisha's behavior was different. He wrapped her in his gentle guy. He separated Nisha from himself to face her. He sighs and wiped tears from her cheeks. "Don't cry. You know I'm the most crybaby between us." He tried to cheer her up. "Sorry, I don't know about you, but I feel bad leaving you. Seema is very lucky to have you with her. Now you don't make cry more," Nisha said, wiping her tears. "Take care of yourself." This was all Edward could say. Nisha's tears were knocking on Edward's heart. The train blew its horn to signal. Edward composed himself, and he came out of the train. The train started moving. Nisha came running to the door. Edward waved his hand to say goodbye. Nisha's eyes filled up again. She bit her lips and waved goodbye. Edward returned home on his bike with a heavy heart. As he stepped into the hall, he began to feel a strange emptiness. When Nisha was at home, the whole house seemed to be living with her. But today, as Nisha left, the house again became empty. He looked at the clock. It was 8 o'clock. He turned towards the bookshelf in the guest room. He told Nisha to sleep in his room, but Nisha denied, saying that room was made for Seema. She can't cross the line. She chose a guest room for her stay. Nisha was fond of reading books. That's why Edward had made a bookshelf for her. Whenever he found a good book, he would bring it home without thinking. So far, half the shelf was filled with books, and all of them were love stories. Edward smiled and took out a book from it. Then he saw a box behind that book, which was hidden behind the books. Edward took out that box. She took it out. There were some letters in it. Edward was shocked and took out a letter from the box and read the address. All those letters were written to Nisha from an orphanage. Edward was lost in thought. He had never heard the name of this orphanage from Nisha's lips. Edward picked up a letter that had come just yesterday and opened it. "Dear sis, I am missing you a lot. You got married and left and forgot us. But we have not forgotten you. Without you, this orphanage really makes us feel like orphans. I got your last letter. Why did you write in it that you are coming back here to stay forever? Did you fight with our brother-in-law? But he is the only one who is in your own family. He is very good at heart. He married you without even seeing you and took you from this orphanage. He must be keeping you very happy. You know he sent us all lots of sweets on his birthday. I remembered your birthday is also tomorrow, so you should come here this time. We will all be waiting for you. Come soon. Your loving brother, Sanu." Edward stood stunned after reading that letter. He could not believe that Nisha was an orphan. Why did she hide such a thing from me? Mom also didn't tell me anything. Did she know about Nisha? Or did Nisha hide this from Mom, too? Edward sat there like a fool. Why? What are you asking this now? Have you ever tried to learn about Nisha? Have you ever asked her about her family and friends? You are just lost in your world. You keep talking about your office or Seema. You started dreaming of marrying Seema, but you forgot that you are a married man. Nisha is not just your friend, but also your wife. You may have noticed that Nisha has obeyed everything you said. Even as a wife, she kept looking at you quietly with Seema. If there was someone else, she would have claimed her right to be your wife or would have left you. After all, a woman whose husband considers her nothing more than a friend instead of his wife How happy would she be by staying with a person like that? Edward's mind was cursing his behavior toward Nisha. Many more questions arose in his mind, like that letter. Edward sat down on the bed, holding his head. The whole night, he just read all the letters. He didn't find any letter that mentioned him as a bad person. The next day, he drove the bike to his village. When he reached home, the afternoon passed. Edward rang the doorbell. His mother opened the door. She was startled to see Edward in front of her all of a sudden. Edward removed his raincoat. "Edward, how did you come suddenly? Why didn't you inform me earlier? You were so wet. Don't you know rain was so heavy here?" his mother asked. "Mom, will you keep asking the same question? Or will you let me in as well?" Edward asked calmly. "Come in," Mother said, giving him her path to enter. Edward came onto the road. "How come you came in today?" Mother asked. "Did Nisha come here?" Edward asked in a straight voice. "Nisha? Yes, she came a little while ago and left." "Mom, please give me Nisha's address. I want to meet her parents." Edward said keep eyes on his mother's reaction. As soon as he says that, his mother's body tends. "Mom, did you hear me?" "Yes, but why are you asking for her address?" "What's wrong with me asking her address? You didn't tell me her address before. Did you even ask before? And why did you need her address now when you don't want to keep Nisha as your wife? Why do you want to meet her parents?" Edward felt anger in his mother's voice. "Mom, how can you say that?" Edward was shocked. "Did I say wrong? I know everything. Nisha has told me everything that happens between you two. You have not accepted Nisha as your wife. She was right. Once children turn into adults, you can't force them into unwanted relationships. But I was an idiot. I thought once you got a cultured wife like Nisha, you will forget Seema, but I was wrong." His mother felt so disappointed. "How can I forget, Mom? I love Seema." Edward said that, but he didn't feel the same affection as before. His sentences feel hollow. "Okay, I accept losing in front of you. You can marry Seema. I will not stop you. My daughter-in-law made me understand that when children grow up, they should make their own decisions. I was considering you as a child. It was my mistake that I chose Nisha for you for your good married life. Please forgive me and be happy with Seema," Edward's mother said in a sad tone. Edward kept staring at his mother. "You may not know, but Nisha is an orphan. I knew her very well. I chose her for you because she is a well-behaved girl. She always puts others before herself. She is a very sweet girl, always keeps smiling, but one mistake took away her smile." Edward's mother sighs helplessly. "Which mistake, Mom?" Edward asked in an amazed tone. "I got her married to you," Edward's mother's voice. It was so calm. "Mom," Edward looked at his shocked face. "Heard me this last time. Give her a divorce. Maybe she will find a good man in the future and give her the happiness that she deserves," Edward's mother suggested to him. "Mom, Nisha is my wife," Edward shouted. Mother kept looking at Edward. Edward was fuming with anger. He could not tolerate the word of divorce and the fact that Nisha was someone else's arms. "Wife? Why did you realize that she is your wife now? You can't see your wife being someone else's arms," Mother said while caressing Edward's head. "Did you even realize how Nisha felt when you were with your girlfriend? Nisha is human too, Edward. She also has the right to get love and respect from her husband. How long will she keep waiting for you? She is losing hope. So you should divorce her and free her from this meaningless marriage, so that both of you can start a new life. This is best for you too." Edward stood up angrily. "No, Mom. I will not let her be someone else. Mother, I have understood everything. Nisha is only mine. I will give her all the happiness that she deserves. Mom, I'm not divorcing her," Edward said in a choked voice. "Edward," she looked at Edward in a surprised tone. "Yes, Mom, I will bring Nisha back," Edward said while sobbing. "Mom, please tell me where Nisha is. I want to meet her, because I can't live without her." Edward grabbed his mother, both hands in his, as he begged her. Finally, she gave the address. Edward got up. He hugged her before he turned to leave the house. "Wait, here, take my car." Edward's father threw a car key toward Edward. "Dad, when did you come?" "I was always here. You just didn't see me. You are so desperately talking to your mother, so I didn't disturb your talk. Now go, bring my daughter-in-law. Your mother kept fussing when Nisha told her everything," Edward's father said calmly. "I'm not making a fuss." Mother rolled her eyes annoyingly. "What? You even made me eat burned food last night and breakfast in the morning. Don't deny, I clicked some photos too. I'll show you later." Edward's father teases her. "You don't have to show him anything. Son, you go get Nisha. Ignored your father." Edward's mother's face turns red as she pushes Edward toward the door. Edward reached the address in about half an hour. The rain had stopped already, so he drove better. He asked about Nisha in the orphanage. 2 kids took him to a lake behind the orphanage. Whenever Nisha felt sad, she used to come to this lake and look at the calm water and the setting sun. Even today, she was sad sitting in the same place. She was missing Edward a lot. She has decided that she will not go back to Edward. She did not want to make herself hurt by seeing Edward with Seema. She was looking at the sunset. Someone put a hand on her shoulders. Nisha turned around and saw Edward standing in front of her. Edward was standing very close to her. She kept staring at Edward. She didn't believe in her eyes. "Edward, you here?" Nisha stood up in shock. "Yes, I'm here. Why? Are you waiting for someone else?" Edward put his hand around her waist and pulled her close to him. Nisha's eyes widened in shock. He looked into her eyes and said, "If you wait for someone other than me, remember I will not let you go. Did you know what I'll do?" "What will you do?" Nisha asked unconsciously. "I will not let you get off the bed. I will tease you all the time. I will trouble you till you become the mother of my child," Edward said in a mischievous tone. "Why?" Nisha's eyes filled with tears. "Look, if you cry, I will start from here, and then you will not be able to escape from me. And get your suitcase. We are going home." Edward kisses her tears away with a gentle tone. "But Seema, what about her? You love her. What will happen? I thought my feelings for Seema were real. But after spending time with you, I got to know what the meaning of love is. I was running from my true feelings. That's why I'm planning a date with Seema. But when you left, I got to know that I love you, not Seema. So I have told Seema to find a good guy and get married. And how did you think that I would leave you like this? You have taught me how to maintain relationships. Nisha, forgive me for my stupidity. I was so blind to see your love." Edward's apology to Nisha. Nisha put her hand on his lips. "Don't apologize. It's not your fault," Nisha said in a hurry. "Okay, I want to ask for something else. Will you answer me?" Edward asked serious tone. "Yes, ask for whatever you want." Nisha became nervous. Edward placed his lips on Nisha's forehead and kissed her. "I want you. Will I get my wife back?" Edward's voice had become quite serious. He held the ring in his hand. "My wedding ring." Nisha's eyes widened. "You left this to Mom," Edward told her. "You met her?" Nisha asked in a surprise. "Yes. She scolds me too for hurting her sweet daughter-in-law. Now hurry and say yes." Edward pouted his lips. Nisha nodded yes with her eyes filled with tears. Edward grabs her hand and slides the same ring onto her finger. Nisha stared at the ring in her hand. "You forgot something," Edward said, teasing tone. "Huh, what is it?" Nisha asked, looking at Edward. She saw a wedding ring in Edward's hand. "Help me to wear it," Edward said as he handed his ring to her. Nisha chuckles and slides a ring onto his finger. "Are you happy now?" Nisha asked in a teasing tone. "No," Edward shakes his head. "What now?" Nisha looked confused. "This," Edward made his dream come true. "The dream that I had in the morning." He placed his lips on Nisha's pink lips, claiming her as his wife. The end.